Krista Yisker, welcome Krista. We're gonna do the same thing here, guys. I'm gonna wait a little bit till we get a couple people on. Let me set this down for a second. I'm gonna refresh my computer and then we're gonna get started. I started this one out a little bit differently. Spry was not in her little pen tonight. She's been on her bed tonight. So when I got home from work tonight, we brought her in. Welcome everybody. Welcome Krista, Mike, Cody, Mike, another Mike, Mecca and Schulte, April. Good evening, Nicole, Brian, Mark. Welcome you guys. So when we started tonight, we started a little bit differently. I've been usually getting home and putting the pup away into either her little pen area or into her crate. And tonight I did it a little bit different. When we got back tonight, we just put her right on her place in a different spot in the house. So she sat there all the way through dinner and she watched all the other dogs eat. I just got done feeding the other dogs. Chad, Kayla, Joe, Daniel, Cole, Jason, Lyle, John. Great crowd tonight, guys. Love it. Welcome everybody. Nixon, John Ballard, Steve. Welcome everyone. So I know our regulars will be back and we'll try to get some new ones tonight too. I think we are getting some new ones. I'm getting new messages from people. I'm getting new questions from people, which is always great. I've had a couple people just comment or send me messages and say, just found you. So for those who are new and just found us, you're in the middle of kind of a series that we've been doing with this little girl, Spry. Walking through kind of some of the stuff that we're doing with these young dogs. I've been able to show some older dogs as well. But we're getting a real good feel for the process, I think, and maybe a good feel for the idea that it just doesn't happen that quickly, and the idea that we run into some issues, and how do you deal with those issues. So that's what I'm hoping for. Steve, Kyle, Brian, welcome guys. So same routine, whether I take her off the bed or I take her out of that pen. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get her outside, because I know we're going to have her, she's going to want to use the bathroom right away. So I'm not calling her off of her place. I'm going to put her down, let her do her thing. She's going to go right out there and do it, I'm sure. She was getting, I'll turn it this way so you can see. She was getting pretty antsy when she was on her bed there. She was sleeping and then she all of a sudden got up. She woke up. She got real feisty. So that's why, good girl, very good. So she's going to the bathroom right now. Come on. Now my objective is to get her back in. One of the things is there's a lot of water in our backyard because we've had unseasonably warm weather. So she is likely getting a drink right now. Come on, let's go. Come on. Here, let's go. Come on. You guys know my routine. It's in the dark now, but come on. I'm going to try to get this little pup to get right back in the house with me. Come here. She's thirsty. Come on. Right here. Come on. So you can hear me wading through the water here. I'm going to get her up here in the yard where you guys can see her. I'm not going to carry her all the way back in. I want to start forming this habit of recall. Dinner time is come on. No. Hey. No. Now she might have to go to the bathroom yet by the looks of it. Hurry up. I think I just saw lightning in my backyard. Now if she's going, I'm following her in here because I don't mind her going to the bathroom. I'll turn this so maybe you can see. I don't mind her if she's got to go to the bathroom again. If she's just down here to get a drink, which is what she's doing, I'm not going to allow it. No. Come on. So I think she's pretty thirsty. I could kind of tell that. We did some new stuff today at the shop. We went live on Instagram and showed it. I showed some videos of it on our Facebook. I didn't go live, but let's see if we can't get her to come with me. No. So here. No. I got a pup that's real thirsty, and I'm not going to allow it. So this time, I am going to pick her up. I'm going to bring her into the house. She's super thirsty. So she keeps going back down to that water. What we want to do is I want to get her in the house. She's going to get a drink with her food tonight. So anybody who's new will see what we do when we feed them. We water their food down. So now I'm back in. Let me do this. I'm going to put her into her pen for just a second. I'm going to get a bowl, if I can find one here. Taylor's got one I can use. Good morning, or good evening, Vicky. Vicky's in. New guy, Dustin Henderson. Welcome, Dustin. So, Dustin, I'll give you a quick idea of what you're in for. Ben, good evening. Ben's had some good questions. A couple of them are coming in right late, and I've missed them a couple times. Ben had a question about, so here, I'm going to give her a drink. I don't want her too thirsty. So she's also going to get some food with her water. It's going to be soaked. So I'm just going to give her a quick drink because she just went down to that. She went down to the pond. She kept getting a drink. Scott's in. Welcome, Scott. So, who is my new person? Dustin. So I'm going to give you an idea quick before I get going with her, what we're doing. Our objective has been, we've got this puppy. She's about 10 and a half weeks right now. She jumps up like that, I ignore her. I'm not going to reward it. So she understands what's going on. She's been down this road before. She's seen this routine. So I'm going to wait, and I'm going to wait for a change in her. Then I'm going to get started. But we took her outside. There's what I'm looking for. There's the behavior that I want. See, she goes, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. Well, she showed me how antsy she was and how unsettled she was. She's going to have to wait till we get started. So this is something that we've been doing now for a couple weeks, Dustin. And we've got this little puppy that's 10 and a half weeks old. If you look back, the nice part about Facebook Lives are they're saved. So you can go back. Our Instagram Lives are not saved. We do Instagram Lives as well. I don't do them as often because I just don't have the opportunities to save them. So we struggle with those. But what I'm going to do is try to use that platform equal or start gaining on using that as well. But tonight what we're going to do is we're coming off of a couple rough lessons. We've done real well with some steadiness, some sits, some recall. I feel like we've made some nice progress. We ran into some struggles with this dog on retrieve, and she's just really struggling. She's not able to. She gets distracted. She doesn't have I feel like she doesn't have a real super strong connection to me yet. I just can't get her to recall on it. So I'm gonna go back to what I preach, and I'm gonna say we're gonna work on stuff and slowly add layers to it and make it incremental. So one of the things, Dustin, that we've been doing is developing a steady dog, and we're using feeding time to help that. If you look back a couple weeks, there were some nights that I was 35, 40 minutes of holding the puppy before she would settle in. Tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to build off what we've done now 3 lessons in a row and had real nice success. The last 3 lessons that we've done, I've been able to get a little bit of a remote sit going. So not only with the food, we did it with the food the last 3, well, it'd be 3 times. The last time we did it without the bowl of food. So we did it with no food, no reward as far as treats. I'm not a treat trainer, but I will use food if I've got a dog that's motivated by it. So these early on lessons are very repetitious because I feed the dogs regular. So for all these guys, for most of these people are regulars, they've heard this all before, but Dustin, we're going to give you a Cliff Notes version of it as we get into it. So first thing I'm going to do, and here's the element that I'm adding tonight, the layer. So if you watch the last 3 times, I built a wall across here, okay? I took these dog beds, I just tipped them sideways. If you look back on our old videos, you'll see, so I usually would put her in that pen. Tonight, what I'm going to do to set her down, so I'm just going to have her on her place. Okay, so we're going to mix it up. Tonight, we're mixing it up where in between me talking and getting things set, she's going to have to go on her place rather than in the pen. It's a little less freedom for her. But it's testing her a little more, and I'm asking a little more of her as far as her to settle in. So before this, we had a wall built across here because what I was working on was these recalls and these sits. And what I wanted to do is allow for her to go anywhere in this area, anywhere in this area. Because as she would get out from me, I would recall her back to me and I'd get a nice little sit. Cody, hello from Illinois. Jessica Munson, welcome Jessica. So that was something that we were working on. Now what I'm going to do is the same situation, except tonight I'm going to leave this open. She has the opportunity to go down there, and I expect her to probably get excited when I first start this, and she's going to take her little lap. And what happens is, the last 2 nights I've really realized how my tone of voice, Julie Virts is in, welcome Julie, Wyatt's joining, Melissa's in. So the last 2 nights I've really seen how my tone of voice affects her. If I get, and I don't want to get hard on her, I preach the idea of going as light as possible to get the results I'm looking for. So with her, my little tone of voice was a major effect on her as far as her responding to me on these sits and these recalls. And then I'm calling them a remote sit. I'm not calling it stay yet because stay is different. Stay is permanent. Welcome Brooke. Brooke joined in. Stay is permanent. We'll never call a dog off of stay. Stay means it's going to be a long, long time. I'm going to always go back and I'm going to take the dog off of stay with a heel command or something and pick them up, these little puppies. I'm not calling the dogs off the beds at this point. My older dogs I will. This puppy does not get called off that bed. She does not come off the bed unless I pick her up. So we're not going to compromise and erode what we're working so hard on with her staying on that bed. So tonight, the difference is, the layer that I'm adding is the idea of this is open, okay? That puppy can go through the house. Now I don't want her to. I'm gonna try to keep her dialed in on me. I still have my little kibble in my back pocket, or in my front pocket. I'll let the dog, she's not as driven nearly as much by that kibble anymore. I've been replacing the kibble with praise, and so I would say about every third, fourth one, I might give her a piece to praise her for. Not very often though, so we're really phasing that out of this stuff. So let me do this. I'm going to pick her up, take her off of this bed. Like I said, we're never calling her off. Now I'm going to set her down, and I'm going to put this. Before I do that, guys, I'm going to put her back on her place. So here's the other benefit of this place training. This is why I like place training so much. I can use this all night long right here. While I'm watching TV, while I'm eating dinner, all this stuff. I can use place training for ensuring that she's not going to get into trouble. So that is something that we do really early on, and we get very good at it. We focus on it. This little puppy's been to Whitetails Unlimited dinners. 600 people the first time she ever saw people at an event like that. Last weekend, 250 people in La Crosse. She laid on this little bed all night long. So that is great in those situations, but it's also great when I got stuff going on around the house here. So in this situation, here I am, I'm going to try to do this live training thing, and I just need 2 free hands because I got to put you guys on this little tripod. I got to do all this stuff. Well, that won't get rewarded. So if you hear that, she's feisty. When I started out tonight, I said, Spry is feeling spry. That's it right there. We're not gonna move forward. So this is where some of these things get boring. This is where some of this training gets boring because we move at the pace that the dog allows. So if this little dog is gonna get feisty like that, we might be here a while. You guys, a lot of you guys have watched me go through this steadiness where I held her in my arms. I think the longest was 40 some minutes. Now, if I picked her up, I think she would settle right in instantly. But right now, tonight, what is she usually? Now, that question came up last night about sheds in the pup. I needed to do a better job of separating that temptation. So, let's see how she reacts to that little bit of change in my tone, too. Because it doesn't take much with her. I found she's extremely soft, which I love. I'm looking for the change right now. But if she's going to sit there and bark at me and whine and fuss, and I'm not really paying that much attention to her. I'm not giving her the attention she wants right now. I'm really I'm not paying attention to her right now. Good evening, Colton, and Nicole joined in. Clint's in. We're not going to get started until she settles down. That's the part that is nice about live. That's the part that sucks about live is sometimes this gets long and sometimes this gets real boring. I give you guys a lot of credit for sticking through it with me, but one of the things that you have to see, and I think part of it is the repetition of doing this every day, and you guys that have been with this for a long time have seen great changes over the last few weeks. Welcome, James. James Lewis just came in. I'm going to show it. I'm going to put it on her. So I want you guys to see her, not me. I want you to watch her. And I'm going to have you guys watch for the change as well. But we're not doing this. We're not doing this when she's got this attitude that she's got right now. Because right now she feels like she's driving the bus and she goes, let's go, it's time. No, we're not going right now. You haven't earned it yet. So, but one thing is, the nice part about live is it's very interactive. So if you guys have questions, great time to do them. Fire them away. At the very end, I get a chance to answer a lot of them. It's hard for me to really communicate while this is going because I'm focusing on the dog and I'm trying to get some of the training stuff in. But what I want to see is, I want to see her settle and change before we move forward. Because if I move forward right now, we are simply rewarding this behavior, and that's not what we're looking for. So we're gonna wait. Now, this is the bummer about live is you guys are stuck with me. You guys are stuck here with me. The same amount of time that it takes me to train a dog, you gotta watch it. Now, I think what people are hopefully getting out of that is how much patience this takes. Because I've been extremely frustrated several times during the training with her. And I've had to remind myself of, see how she's reaching right now? I don't know if you can see that. She's reaching like she wants to come off. It's very unsettled. Ellie, no. I'm waiting to see her next move. I think sometimes she keys on me and my energy, and when I'm kind of borderline angry and upset and frustrated, I think she feeds off of it. So it's gotten really quiet in here. Steph's sneaking through the house right now. Now part of that is the pup's distracted. The pup's really focusing on her right now. That's okay. What I want to see is I want to see her maintain this level of calm once Steph works her way through. Because if she gets antsy and fusses around and moves around again, we're not going anywhere. So right now we're at a nice number. We're pushing 60 people watching the dog just sit. But the beauty of it is all 60 of you are seeing what I'm going to make sure happens before we go any further in our training. And if it takes 1 minute, good. If it takes 10 minutes, okay. If it gets so long and she continues that behavior and I move forward with it, she's not learning anything. So now watch. If she lays down, boy, I'm going to make sure she knows it. Look at her just look at me. Good. That's good. Now, it's borderline good because I saw her kind of... She's hearing Steph downstairs. I'm waiting for one thing. There it is. But see how her head went down? She just gave in. She just gave in. That right there is what I'm looking for. You know what, little girl? You've earned it. Now, we can start this. So now I'm starting this off on the right foot. Okay? If 3, 4, 5, whatever, however many minutes ago that was, yeah, blow it up with the pink hearts, guys, because I love seeing that, man. I get energy. Because that made me, you know what? That made me feel really good. Seeing that dog do that really made me happy, okay? I'll admit it. But the thing about that is, let me just tip this. Now I'm going to go right into our routine of our holding steady. So she's got to continue it. She's got to maintain it and hold it through. But the thing about that was she worked and worked and worked and worked and worked and was mad and angry. And if you rewind this or watch this from the beginning, when I started out, I was pretty high energy too. I was pretty wound up. I kind of started off a little angry when she went down to the pond. So here I am, hindsight, looking at this and going, when we first started, I went down to the pond and we started off on the wrong foot. I was kind of mad at her. I grabbed her and picked her up and carried her in. And so that's the risk of doing it live. That's the part of doing it live that I have no control over. If things go really bad, you see it all, okay? So, but I also think, and it made me very reluctant to doing stuff like this, but when things go really bad, you know what keeps me going is when you guys make comments and go, that's the shit I want to see, because that's the same stuff that happens at my house. That's exactly why we're doing this, okay? So the number of people that followed along through that increased. So it tells me we'll keep doing that. But, so now as she settles in, I'm going to set her down. She just nipped at my hand. We're not setting her down yet. She's going to have to settle. And so we reach these points where she does good, and then all of a sudden she slips. How do you get that back? So now I'm going to set her down. I'm going to try to have a little bit different attitude myself through this. I'm going to try to be positive, but I also learned the last 2 or 3 times that we've done this, I want to be her buddy, but I also have to be her dad. I want to be my son's buddy. I want my kids to like me. I want to think I'm cool. But I also realize that there's a point where I have to let them think I'm cool and their buddy, and then there's a point where I have to be their dad and have them respect me as well. Respect doesn't mean fear. I don't want her to fear me. I don't want her to work out of fear. I do want her to respect me. So you're going to hear tonight, because I watched it last night, and I saw great changes in my tone with her. And then I'm going to tell you some stories about some people I talked to on the phone today. But let me put her down, and I'm going to get her ready here. I'm cheating into my pocket. My little backup plan is my kibble. Now, I'm going to tip this so you can see. Now, the one thing is I'm keying off of, she's hungry right now. Come here. Sit. Sit. Good. Sit. 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 She's how antsy she is, so she's just not there. So I'm going to ask her, now she goes for a little joyride. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. She's taking her joyride around the house. Come on, come on, come on. I got to get her back. Here she comes. Come on, come on, come on. No, 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 no. Come on. So we've lost her. I grabbed this. You guys got to see this. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I got to get her away from this distraction. Come on. This is why we don't free play. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Good. Good, 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 good. Come on, 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 come on. All right, let me put this down. Here. Sit. She's off for another wrap. Come here. So we really want, Now notice my tone. Like I've had enough. I've just had enough. Sit. Sit. A slight pickup on her neck. Come here. Come here. No, no. Come here. No. So what's different tonight? Sit. Sit. What's different tonight is sit. I don't have the wall. So what does it tell me? Sit. Good. That was a good one. Sit. Good. I'm going to let her know we're on the same team here. Come here. Sit. Sit. No. That wall not being there is an extreme temptation. Okay? So let me do this. Let's back up. Because I want to show you guys the difference here. So I'm just going to tip this here so you guys can see what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a very simple change. Now one thing that I did tonight, different from the last 2 days, and it was as a test, and I'll be honest, I was going to add a layer to tonight. Well, I've realized that layer isn't working. The layer's creating issues. freedom, she's not quite capable of getting through it. So now, take the great wall up. Okay? Now what I've done is I've eliminated 50% of my house. Hey, Steph. Hey. So we've got here she can go. We've got over here she can go. She can't get over there anymore. Okay? I'm going to see what difference that makes. So this is one of those things where on the fly, we're going to make an adjustment. Because I thought maybe we could get through that. I thought, you know what? We've had 3 good lessons in a row. If anyone knows me, the temperature's going up in my house right now. Because that was a good test for me. And I got a little warm about it. Literally. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a step back. So here's my point. I'm always trying to take steps forward, guys. I'm always trying to move forward. But when I realize I'm trying to take too big of a step, I always tell you guys, you went from A to Z. You need to go from A to B, B to C, C to D. You'll get to Z. Well, just now, I went to A to Z. Z is, the end of the road is not for me to get a dog to listen to me in my house. But right now, that's my big goal, is to get this little pup to work through these distractions. So now I have to make some adjustments. So let's see if this makes a difference. I set her down. Look at this. Good. Very good. Very good. I'm going to move her around a little bit. Come on. Come on. Sit. Come here. Sit. Very good. What did I do differently? All I did, sit. This is it, guys. All I did was build a wall. And this little puppy looks at that and goes, holy crap, that's big. I don't have the ability to go do what I want. Now she's going to experiment and go, oh, the kids left their shoes out. Come here, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here. And all of a sudden she's ramping back up. So I got to correct it. Come on, come on. Sit. Very nice. Sit. Sit. Good. Mike, no. Do you see that little nip? There's a fix. I'm going to make mention here to Randy Muffley, because I hope he's watching. Sit. Good. Now, you'll notice I'm not giving her food every time she sits. Come here. Come on. Sit. Good. Praise. Now I want her to do it in different spots. I want to move around this kitchen. I don't want her to do it only in front of the camera. Come here. Come on, come on, come on, come on. So she's distracted right now over by the stove. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. No, 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 no. She wants to chew on the mat. No, 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 no. Come on, come on. See what I got going here? Set yourself up for success. Here's another easy fix, guys. Don't want your dog to chew on the mats when you're training? Pick the mats up. Guaranteed success. We will eliminate that issue. No, 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 she goes up for it. Come here. Now watch the focus I get out of her. Come here, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come here. I'm moving. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come here. Come on. Come here. Spry. Come here. Sit. Sit. Good. No. Sit. Good. Good. I can't see that one. Come here. So I'm extending this. Sit. I'm extending this out a little bit. Good. Next thing I want to do, okay? I'm satisfied with that. I've regained her focus, her control. I'm going to walk around this room a little bit and let her do what she wants to do. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Major mistake. Pup's chewing on the kid's shoes. Yell at the pup? No, pick the shoes up. Come here. Sit. Good. And I'm going to give her a piece of food for that one. So now I'm going to take her through the maze of distraction again. There's a floor mat over here. Will that be too much? My boots are right there. Will that be too much? Apparently not. I'm going to get her back. Come here, come here, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on. Sit. Good. No praise, no food, just praise. Now I'm building on it. Okay? Now we're gonna do that next step where I wanna get what I'm calling a remote sit. Get out of there, get out of there. Little pups into the veggies. What do I gotta do? I put the veggies away. So, setting myself up for success. So I'm gonna reset this whole thing now. I got a pup that was fussy, fussy, fussy. I'm gonna pick her back up. I'm gonna tip this so you watch. 75, guys, we got a lot of people watching. There's gotta be some new people watching. This is a series, guys. We didn't do this just tonight. We've kind of grown to this point, but so now I'm gonna hold the pup and I'm just gonna hold on to her. And I'm gonna make her go back to that square one. This is like a reset. She's gonna have to settle because I want her focus again. We went through a whole bunch of stuff. Roller coaster. We did good, we did bad, we did good, we did bad, we did good, we did bad. Now we're back to this. So I'm just gonna hold on to her and let her kind of clear her mind. Let her digest what we just went through. Let her kind of soak that roller coaster in. The good stuff we praised for, I trust that she's gonna memory that. That's going back into the memory. The corrections. Will she play with those shoes if I put them down on the ground? Absolutely. So instead of her being corrected day in and day out, over and over and over for playing with the shoes, put the shoes away, eliminate the issue. So now the next step I want to do tonight, we're adding another layer. We did it the last 3 nights. We've had success, so it's not really new. I might mix it up a little bit. I might do a little bit out of sequence of what I had been doing. But if you guys have been watching the series, you'll pick that up. If you're new to it, I'm just adding another layer. We're going to get this pup to sit. I'm going to do it relatively close to the camera so that you guys can see. And then I'm going to move away. Remote sit. Then I'm going to flip it, and I'll probably put the camera over there because I don't want to do it the exact same spot every single time. I want to make sure that it's a habit, not a location thing. You could see tonight, the location affected her ability to focus. She couldn't focus when the Great Wall wasn't built. Well, I need to do this more often with the Great Wall and then start taking the Great Wall down. And I need to transfer the behavior. So let me get her to sit. Sit. Now, I give her a traffic cop stop. Hand out. Slow backing up. Guys, we didn't start this tonight. It's happened over the last 2 days. So if you're new to this, which I know a lot of you are new, because we don't usually get this number, we've got about 30 to 40 that are here constantly. Tonight we're up in the 70s, so that's a lot of new people, which is awesome. I want to thank you guys for following this stuff. Share it. That's the point, is to try to grow it. The more active we get with this, the more interaction we get, the better. Now I'm really pushing this remote sit right now. Very good. And there's a nice praise for her, and she stays very well. Come on. Now I'm going to move her. I'm going to do the same thing. Come here. She's going to go. She's going to say, huh? Can I get something over here? Sit. I'm going to work this one back to the camera. Sit. Traffic cop, stop. I'm going to work back to the camera. This is real interesting because it's completely reversed. I want her focused. I want her eyes on me. Very good. That's 2 nice ones in a row. 2 different spots. That's good. Let's move her around. Come on. Come on. This time I want to get a little recall involved with it. So I'm going to bring her down to this end. Then I'm just going to sneak off. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Sit. Sit. Good. So what did I add to that one? I walked down to the other end of the room. She came with me. I drifted off away from her, and I recalled her to me. She came to me. This is the furthest I've been away from her on a remote sit. Just keeping her attention. When her nose goes down to the ground, she starts sniffing. I'm about to lose her. So I gotta get, this is all feel, guys. I don't think I had this 3 days ago. This is feel at a distance. She feels me, trust me. I'm starting to get a feel for her. I feel like I have to get this in order to take the next, the next steps. Tail's wagging. Very good. Very good. And I'm gonna make sure she knows I'm happy. Very good. I don't know if you can see her tail, but it's really wagging. That's a good girl. Now, let's give her the big punchline here is the big reward. Okay, let's do this. Come here. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Now I need a recall. Come on, come on. Good girl. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Sit. Sit. she sat and spun around and looked at me. Now I set the bowl of food down. Now remember guys, especially people that are new, if the pup breaks, what do? Pick up the food. No reward. She wants one thing right now. She wants to get at that bowl of food and eat. Now don't think we did this for the first time tonight. Look back on some of these videos because this doesn't happen in one session. We've had all sorts of good sessions, bad sessions, good sessions, bad sessions, good, but we constantly are trying to get better. That's the key. So she's sliding out of the screen, so I'm going to line her, Spry, and I send her. Now, it's interesting because those who have been with me on these, you'll remember the last couple times we've done this, we've sent her and she hesitated twice, and then she'd go. Well, why did she do that before? Because I worked on her on being steady. There you go. Blow her up with those little likes and all those hearts and all that stuff. She loves that. So do I. So when she did that, when I first did this little remote sit with her, I'd put her on a remote sit and she broke a couple times and I corrected her. No. And I put her right back. No. Put her right back. So then the first time I sent her on her retrieve, or on her line for the reward, she hesitated. And I had to get a little more oomph. I had to get a little more oomph. I had to get a little more oomph. And all of a sudden she'd go. So this time, she was steady as a rock tonight. She didn't move. She was very good on remote sit. Yet when I lined her and sent her, she went on the first one. Because she's retaining that stuff that we've put in over the last 3-4 sessions, over the last 2-3 days. And all this other stuff that seems to come very natural to her, like laying in my arms, it becomes very natural to her right now. I have very little issue with her fighting me. Now this weekend, we were at the Whitetails Unlimited in La Crosse. We had strangers do it, and she fought one guy for half hour, and that sucker wouldn't give in. I really give him a lot of credit. He would not. I said, you don't have to hold her that long if you don't want. He said, no, I started it, I'm going to finish it. I said, I like your attitude. But he held on to her until this dog broke and gave in and said, you know what? He's just like that guy over there. He's not going to set me down by fussing. He's going to make me calm down before he puts me down. This action right here won't get rewarded. She knows it. See how quick she settles in now? So let me set her down. Sit. I actually will move her forward so you can see it a little bit better. So I want you to pick up some of these little details. Sit. I time the command sit now with that. She sits automatically whether I say it or not. I might as well get a training rep into it. So I tell her sit at the same time. I want you to pay attention to her head, her eyes. I want you to pay attention to my movements. A little faster. A little more zip in my voice once. Nose goes down on the ground, I'm correcting. Focus is right here, not on the ground. Now I spin around. There's the eyes. Look at those eyes looking at me. What do you want me to do next, Dad? Good. Very good. Good. Now I want you to pay attention when I line her, because I'm not going to let her break this time. She's become steady. I'm not going to when I put my hand down, it doesn't mean go. She needs all three things. My hand down, lined, her name, and my little gesture and snapping of the fingers. No. Jump the gun. See? Saw it was coming. Good. Tail's wagging. Good. Let's see if she goes when I release her this time. She might hesitate. Good. Very good. I faked her out. I started on the motion and she didn't break. Very good. Spry. Good girl. Very good. Now she gets praised for it. So I caught her once, anticipating to go, and I corrected. Then I faked her a couple times. She didn't go. I lined and sent. She hesitated. Then she went, and I praised that go. So now she's going to have to start going, Jesus, man, now he really wants me to be precise. Well, we got this chunk of steel, and we shaped it into a knife. It's certainly not sharp. Now I need to start sharpening. So everything we do, we're trying to get a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. And these are baby steps, guys. These are not big jumps. If we take big jumps, I will take this train right off the rails. I have to take baby steps. So I'm going to do one more with her, then I'm going to jump in. We had a lot of people, so I don't know what the questions look like, but I'm going to start in on them because I got a couple other points that I want to talk about. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to do one more with her. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh. Let's line her up. Let's get another nice one. This one, I'm going to mix up. I've been very lengthy with it. I'll put it where you can see her. I put a lot of time on these. I missed the sit there. I didn't get my sit out of it. I put a lot of time into these where I extended it quite a while. This time it's short. Spry. Keep her honest. She thinks we're in for a long wait and she goes, ooh, I'm checking out. Nope, I'm going to send you right now. I'm going to get her bed ready because you guys that have been with us know what's next after we get done feeding her. So, all right, let me spin this around. Let you guys see her. We'll watch her when she's done eating. And then we'll get in. I'm going to get into some of these questions. So first off, I want to thank you guys because tremendous numbers tonight. Great work. Welcome all you regulars and a lot of new ones. Chad Matson. I don't know if I've seen you chime in on these, so welcome. Kaylee Thompson-Mills is in. Kaylee had a great night. She's in my notes tonight to talk about. Kaylee, be on your toes. Daniel, Australia's in. My Aussie friend, my mate. He calls me mate. I love it. Cheers, mate. Cole, welcome. Jason, good evening from Minnesota. We got Minnesota represented. We got Georgia in here. I'm sure we got the Illinois folks in. John Ballard's in. Iowa is Nick. Steve Aiken, Kyle Hill, Vicky, my buddy Scott joined in. Scott's the brains behind this operation, guys. Wyatt joined in. Melissa Stone, Brooke is in. Stephanie, Matt, Clint. Colton Bailey, do you like your shed dogs to leave your side or do you train them to stay as close as possible? Colton, good question. We've talked about this in a couple of these as far as range goes. I don't want to by my side. I want my shed dogs to work in the same within the same range that I would a bird dog. So to me, 25 to 35 yards. This last weekend we did some live shed hunting and we filmed ourselves shed hunting. You'll see where I talk about the range because several times when I'm filming, if I turn and look 25 yards to either direction of me, there's no chance in the world that I'm seeing a shed laying there. So I want my dogs working in that distance. If you go 50 to 60, 70, 80, 100 yards, you're going to walk over sheds. So I don't want them out beyond gun range. And the reason is because I'm going to bird hunt with them and I don't want dogs flushing outside of range as well. So I think personally, I think if you take a hard look at where you shed hunt, the majority of the times you're going to find sheds, they're not out at 100-yard distance. I don't need dogs to range 100 yards. I think it loses effectiveness with the dog. If you can make a 50-yard swath through the woods, which means 25 yards one way or the other of you, I think you're covering a lot of ground. So I don't want them heeling on my side. I want them to get out some. But I want them working in range similar to a bird dog or gun dog. Now, one of the things we did this weekend was we had a pointer with us. Wyatt Anderson had his pointer with us. And for the first part of that day, Wyatt heeled Hutch the whole time. The reason is because Hutch has too much range. Gets out of range, Wyatt loses control. Let's get her over here. Come on. You guys know the next part of this? Get up, get up, come on. Get up, get up, get up. Very good. Good. So you'll notice I'm even letting her place herself now. Pretty soon I'll start tying in the word place. Right now place doesn't mean anything to her. But pretty soon when she gets into that habit of getting up there on her own, I'll start tying it to the word, just like I tie sit to the word after she starts doing the action and getting the praise. So a nice little place on her own here tonight. Yep, a lot of hearts for that. She loves that. So with that pointing dog this weekend, we had a dog that ranged too much. So what we did was we found balance. We heeled that dog for the first half of the day. Wyatt heeled him at his side. So he's countering that tendency to want to really range. Good evening, Mike Clark. Now the one thing I got to be careful of with her is if she has to go to the bathroom. because if she gets too fussy and too whiny right now, I'll take her outside and I'll give her a chance to go to the bathroom. That little whine to me tells me it might be more than just it might be a whine of, Dad, I really gotta go. So I'm gonna see how this settles in. This is me reading my dog. I mean, I can pick up the different tone in the whimper. It's a bathroom break. I can just tell you right now it is. So that little bit of whine, that high pitch, all over it. So, not always. A lot of times we put her on there and she'll lay down, fall asleep for 35, 40 minutes. I think Nicole Schulte was talking about that. I can't believe she settles in. Well, tonight her schedule is shifting. So I have to be able to adjust. Dog training is fluid, guys. I had someone ask me this week to write out a calendar for them on what to do every day and break it down by the weeks on the steps that they should take. Now, I guarantee you, we got a little pup that's going to go to the bathroom. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. So I give her a hurry up command. When I take my dogs out, I want them to go and hurry up. I don't want to spend a lot of time out here waiting for them to decide when it's time to go. I don't like giving them a lot of time to eat either. You'll see we water the food down on purpose. The reason we water the food down is to get these guys to eat quicker. So she's finding her spot right now. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Good girl, she's located it. Hurry up, good, very good. So black dog outside, that's what makes it a little bit harder, but as soon as she's done now, I'm going to use this chance. I'm going to slide over by her. It's going to go black here for a second. We'll be inside in a minute. Good girl. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's go. Come here. Very good. Come on. Come here. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. No, 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 no. Come here. Very good. Very good. And I don't know if you guys probably can't see this. So I just ducked down. She came waddling up to me. I praised her for it. Now we're going to bring her in. Now watch the difference when I put her on place. Watch how quickly she settles in. So her routine after we eat is get back on your place. It ensures we don't have any issues. She's not going anywhere. You guys saw how in this house, if I give her free rein, we lose a lot of control and we'll test a lot of patience. The temperature will go up for me way warmer than I want it to be if a dog runs around the house free playing, just causing trouble, raising hell. So now I know she doesn't have to go to the bathroom. Let's see how long it takes for her to settle down. But so where were we? I was talking about some range stuff, but lots of patience, says Clint. Patience is the one thing that if I could sell, I'd be retired. I'd be on a beach right now. Patience is necessary. We have to have patience. So, good evening. Just finished driver training at the fire department. Stay off the roads. Wednesday night near Mequon. I'm learning to drive the fire engine. Nicole's our firefighting, dog training, hardworking son of a gun. She's been to several workshops of ours. She's coming back to another workshop. Finally able to watch in on one of the live videos. Welcome, Cody. Glad you caught this. Cody, the whole idea of doing them live is it's a lot more fun. It's a lot more interactive. We get the chance to do this. Now, we miss out on some things that I'm going to talk about in a minute. But Sean Rummel joined in, Matt Tandy joined in, the pointing man out of Buffalo County, Andrew Brownson. Wyatt, don't take offense to that. I know you're the pointer man of Buffalo County. Emily Johnson learned the most when things don't go as planned. Yeah, I think a lot of people are in that boat, Emily. So we're probably talking about earlier when we were talking about mistakes. After watching my own videos this morning, I can definitely understand the tone thing. So April is a very interesting story for me. April is really grabbing a hold of this. April has sent me videos. April's filming herself now. I think it's great. I think everyone should, because I think when you watch it, things look a lot different than you think they look. It's the same with me. I learn a lot by just watching myself and figuring out, oh, I missed that, or I should have done this. So April's doing that, and I think there's a change. Good. Very good. So there's the change I'm looking for. Okay, our puppy Max is the same age as Spry. He does really good with me and my daughter, 9, but with my son, 7, Max turns into a hyper crazy dog. When
my 1-year-old plays with Max. My son drops toys. My son drops toys on the dog, shares toys, and lays on him and interrupts Max while he is in his place. Will Max realize that even though the tiny human messes everything up that the big humans are the ones with the rules, or is it going to... I'm really struggling to read these. Big humans or are the ones with the rules, or is it going to mess everything up? Max is going to be our indoor pet, so playing, roaming in the house is okay, but with very strict obedience. Okay. Good question, Kaylee, and Kaylee's on my list of people to talk with tonight. So your question is, I'm gonna cliff note this, and I'm gonna say, you've got a pup that listens real well to you and your 9-year-old daughter. When your 7-year-old son gets involved, dog loses focus and blows up. You got a little baby, 1-year-old, that's throwing toys on the pup, wrestling on the dog on place, and you're questioning of whether or not that's going to be confusing for little Max. A lot going on there. Here's the answer. Nothing has changed with Max between you and your daughter and your son except one thing, your son. So it's not the pup. Pup didn't change. It's the role that your son's playing in Max's life. Max says, here's one that I'm above when it comes to our pack. Okay? This little puppy's really winding up. Thank you. See that, guys? Kaylee, you see that? So pup just wound itself right up to the point where it fell off the bed. That was my breaking point. Now my fix was not a lot. I went with some tone and a quick correction. And did you see that? Now, do you think this dog questions who's in charge right now? I didn't have to get very strong with this pup, and I got a real nice reaction. You probably, Kaylee, you've been working hard. You've been sending videos. You've been showing me the routine that you've got, and you've got your puppy feeding and steadying and doing a lot of nice things. My question to you is, can your daughter do that? Because the pup seems to be listening to your daughter. I bet you your daughter could get away with it. I want the 7-year-old son to be able to do it. Because there's a reason why the dog listens to you, is because the dog respects you. The dog doesn't respect your 7-year-old son at this point. And your son's probably not earned the respect. Your son has to act just like you do. We've got a 7-year-old daughter that handles these dogs as well as I do at times. And then all of a sudden she kind of lets it slip, and she gets into that area where it's very confusing to the dog, and the dog takes advantage of her. So then I don't tell the dog to do anything different. I tell our daughter to do something different, and all of a sudden the puppy starts reacting, or the dog starts reacting to the daughter the same way. Right now, Kaylee, you're training Max. I want to challenge you to train the 7-year-old. And you're going to have to train the 7-year-old to be able to handle the dog. The 1-year-old, I can't ask a 1-year-old to be a dog handler, but what I can do is set my dog up for success. And right now you're setting the dog up for failure. So the kids can't wrestle and erode everything you're doing. So that little 1-year-old is not going to be able to wrestle around with Max if you want Max to be understanding that there's black and white stuff, like right and wrong. It's not right and wrong with you, but when the kids get involved, it's not wrong with you, but when the kids get involved, it's right. Because the puppy isn't going to go, I can do it with this person, but I can't do it with that person. They're going to get completely confused. So I'm going to challenge you. This is the hardest part. You're going to have to train a 7-year-old to handle the dog the same way you are. You know what, though? It's fun. It's a lot of fun when kids get involved with this. But you have to be it's a challenge for you, Kaylee, more than anything. You're going to have to train both. Now with the baby, you're going to have to practice some restraint. So I'm going to tell you right now that last line that says, Max is going to be an indoor pet, so playing and roaming the house is okay, but with very strict obedience. Playing and roaming the house is fine, but you can't have very strict obedience. You saw this puppy run around my house tonight. Can't do it. Absolutely can't do it. Can do this. Can't run around the house. So you're gonna make progress, Kaylee, and then you're going to take a bunch of steps backwards if you continue on the route that you're going. You're going to have to make some changes. So it's going to be tough. It's not what you wanted to hear, I'm sure. I'm sure you were hoping to hear, yeah, he's an indoor dog, so he can do whatever he wants in the house. No, not at all. That much more reason not to. So this is going to be, Kaylee, you're going to get through this. you're going to have to change the thought process. You're going to have to change the thought process with the kids, and you're going to have to change the thought process and change that culture with Max. My dogs are all indoor dogs. They're all family dogs. The reason they're able to do that is because I can get the behavior out of them. If you can't get the behavior out of them, you're going to end up going, you know what? I can't even have Max in the house anymore. He's just disruptive. He's creating too many issues. It's not the easy answer. It's the only answer, though, in my opinion. So I don't want to have to get hard, but that's the toughest I've had to get so far. Not with the dogs, with Kaylee. You'll get through it, Kaylee. We'll help you. The nipping drives me crazy. Had to get very firm with Thor tonight. Jeff Trudell has been going through some stuff with Thor. A lot of process, quite a process, a lot of progress. Sudden change. That's probably where I gave a big correction. Steph came down. It's getting hot. He sensed my heat, so this is where we really had the breakdown. So I had to figure out how to get through that. Gonna have to send his wife to get him a belt. No, I won't need that. I suppose you probably think my pants are falling off. I got a belt on, James. Come on. I need help in training my 11-year-old dog. Chloe, I think you can do the exact same thing that I'm doing with a 10-week-old dog. You could do it with a 10-year-old dog. Problem is sometimes with those older dogs, they've got bad habits, and you have to change them. It takes a lot longer to train bad habits out than good habits in. That's why I like pups. But I certainly can do it with older dogs. You just have to understand it's going to take some time, that you're going to have to reverse some things before you can get to the stuff you want. So who's going to pay for that wall? I don't want to get political on this, you guys. I had to build the wall to correct the dog. That was it. I need help with the Labradoodle and training. Allison, here's a good one for you. So if you guys got young dogs, I've had a lot of people ask questions about this. So they like the idea that we're doing these trainings on live. The problem with these trainings on live is you're going to have to be with me a while. You're going to have to see, because this puppy, I won't be able to speed train. But I guarantee you in the next 6, 8, 10, 12 months, you're going to see major changes with this puppy. Here's the Cliff Notes version. So 2.5 hours of DV, it's two discs. It's heel, sit, stay, come when I call you. There's a little bit of place training in here. There's some tying out, which I'm going to talk about soon. That DVD right there is a whole bunch of information on foundation work. And the nice part about it is you, Allison, can fast forward to where you need it. You can look at the chapters you need. You can jump back and forth as you need it. So I don't know how old your Labradoodle is, but that foundation DVD, I think, is a strong, strong tool for anybody who's got young dogs or old dogs. If you got old dogs, put the old dog in the place of the puppy. The same process. Oh man, you need more patience the further you get. Yes, I do. I need lots of patience. I need to borrow your arms. I struggle holding the 7-week-old puppy. It's a good workout. This is a good workout. But this is another reason why it's nice to do it early on. Now, if you can't do this, if the dog's too old or too big to hold, put him on sit. Now, you got to have sit and you got to have a lead. You're going to have to put the dog on a lead. And if the dog moves on the lead, you're going to correct it like right now. So we're going to show you some of that stuff as she gets older. But you can do the same thing. You just got to put the dog on a lead and you require them to sit by your side instead of sitting in your arms. You'll have to watch from the beginning. Yeah, Shalday, it was a real gong show to start out with, but we made it through. Get the cold ones ready. Yeah, it's probably a good idea. Wesley Roberts from Iowa, Brandon Baker from Kentucky, Ryan Heller from Indiana. We must have talked about saying where we're from because everyone's telling us where they're from. Mark's from Pittsburgh. Great night tonight, guys. Lots of people in. Lots of new people, I think. Will you be at the show this weekend? Cole, I think you're Green Bay. I'm assuming you're thinking the Green Bay show. I will not be. We will be in Minnesota, Rogers, Minnesota, at the Cabela's, Rogers, Minnesota. God, Wyatt, you got my mind. You're a bad influence on me, Wyatt. The heat. I gotta cool off a little. So, isn't it National Margarita Day? I'm not sure. Great State of Colorado is in. April's in. April's been doing a nice job, working hard. Greg from Illinois. So I knew the Illinois people were in. Nebraska's in with Shaldag. Ohio's in. Is it okay for pups to chew on sheds? Zach, probably one of the most often asked questions. It's okay if you want dogs to only chew on sheds, but I look at sheds as, so I shouldn't have said that because it's probably confusing. No, there's the answer. No, don't let dogs chew on sheds if you want them to be shed dogs. It trains the wrong habit. It trains a habit of lay down and chew on a shed, which is the last thing I want. The other thing that it trains is training is forming habits, and habits are formed by repetition and consistency. I'm a broken record when it comes to that. The thing about sheds laying around your house with dogs having access to them to play with, chew on, do what they will. They walk by them 100 times a day. They lay down and chew on them 10 times. Okay, it's not what I want, but at least they paid attention to it, right? Well, you're training something that's not quite exactly right, but it's at least a step. I don't even say it's a step. It's leaning in the right direction. Here's the problem: is 90 out of 100 times it walked past the sheds. What habit is being formed stronger? The wrong habit. No sheds for shed dogs. No chew toys for any of my dogs as retrievers. If you want a dog to chew on stuff, give them chew toys. It's a training tool. Trains the wrong thing. Getting an 8-week-old chocolate lab on March 15th. Where and when do I start? You'll start on March 15th, Kevin, and you're going to start forming habits today that you're going to use later in the field. I like to start out. This would be my first recommendation. Get one of these. It's the Puppy Training DVD, Building a Solid Foundation. Then go through it. Watch the whole thing. It's not that exciting. You won't pop popcorn to it and sit down on Saturday night, but it will be a lot of information. So watch it through. Then figure out the spots where you have weaknesses and watch it again and watch it again and pick up on the little details that are going to help you. I start out, if you want, go on Facebook, go back about 3 weeks now, and you'll see when we started with this puppy at 7.5 weeks old. So you'll see exactly what we did. I had a 7.5-week-old that didn't know much of anything, and we've gotten her to this point. Now, you'll have to progress through because every day we took steps. Sometimes they were backwards. More often than not, they were forwards. So remember, Kevin, that's going to be coming. So we had a conversation last night that came up, and I liked it. I said, training dogs is not a sprint, it's a marathon. So if things go really well, now today I want to talk about something that went really well. We tied the pup out for the first time at our shop. We did it live on Instagram. We did it some Instagram stories, and then I shared those to our Facebook page. But we tied her out, and she never whined, she never fussed. She circled around. She sat still for about 5-10 minutes, unsure of what the heck to think. Then she circled around and she went to bed. She took a nap. It was a beautiful day. I wanted to take advantage of the weather. I tied her out outside of our shop in the gravel parking lot. She settled right in. Normally, I'll have dogs that'll whine, fuss, bark, fight the rope, fight the chain for hours on end. I've had it happen before. This little puppy didn't do it a bit. So she did really well. Now, the reverse of that, so I get really excited about that and I feel happy about it. The reverse of that is I nearly pulled my hair out and sweated to death the last couple days trying to get my puppy to make basic, simple retrieves that I've never had a problem with before in the past. Well, I know where I've got to get creative, and I got to figure out the combination to unlock that from her. But that's part of training, and that's going to take time and patience, and I'll get there. I promise you, I'll get there. I won't let a 8-week-old, a 10-week-old, a 12-week-old puppy beat me. I'm not going to let her not do something for a couple days and give up. I'm going to stick with it. We're going to get through it. So when do you start? The day you pick them up. Start forming habits, Kevin. Good ones. Avoid the bad ones. That's the easy thing. Don't train things into your dog today. You got to train out of them later. The foundation DVD is going to help you. I'm not sure what that means. Nightlies? I'm not sure what that means, Wyatt. Do you water the food down for the big dogs as well? I have been, Shaldig. Just because I've been so busy, I haven't been home before dark the last few nights. So I haven't had a chance to work the big dogs as much. Consequently, they don't get out. They don't get as many drinks of water. They don't get as much activity. They're still doing fine, but I've been watering it down because I feel like it's a good opportunity to make sure they're getting water as well. I'll give them drinks, but I like to water their food down as well. 4 out of my 5 dogs are black. I feel your pain in the dark. Yeah, it's a struggle. I have 2 black labs, and I put fluorescent collars. That's Wyatt's trick too. Wyatt's got a little glow thing that he puts on his collars for the black dogs. Good girl Spry, she did a nice job tonight. There is room for 2 of us in Buffalo. That's the pointing boys. and room for 4 of us in the truck going to Canada. Indeed. We're talking about, where's Sean? Sean's the guy we got to talk with. We're thinking about going up north. Or Kalinske, the other Canadian. He's finding sheds all the time on me. I hope he's listening. I wish I had found you and DogBone when Tiffin was young, like Spry. I'd have done a lot different with her. So I don't want you to, April, I don't want you to get bummed out about this. I think you got to look at this and go, I'm really glad I found DogBone and this stuff now, because you got a lot of time left with this dog. Just take it day by day. Don't be discouraged. If I got discouraged on days we struggled, man, I'd be discouraged all the time, because we struggle every day. But look for the little things, April. You got to look for the little things that go well and build on those. And you're going to be just fine. You're with us. You'll be fine. No, it's perfect advice. I was kind of expecting to get the slap on the hand. I wasn't slapping in the hand, but I am going to tell you what I think. There's certain things, guys, I just won't sugarcoat. I don't think there's any way, Kaylee, for you to do it differently. I don't think you can have separate rules for separate people when it comes to your dog. I talk about consistency and repetition. That's with the dog, and that's also with people. So there's just no way we can get around it. The DVD is worth its weight in gold. So much valuable information. Thanks, Jeff. Robbie Schmidt's seen the puppy DVD, and he agrees. Thanks, guys. Lucas joined in. Welcome late. DVD. It's a good filler to watch when you're anxiously waiting DogBone to go live. Wow, you guys are really putting the pressure on me. Gives a good review on how to train on the fly. Yeah, I think this combination of live videos with the DVD, with the training kits, when we start talking about specifics. Now, so I've got all 3 DVDs. I wanted to show them. It's not a shameless sales pitch, but I've had too many people ask me, do you have more information out there? So people are seeing the live and they're going, do you have anything more? Here's what I recommend for shed stuff. We got a shed training DVD. Here's what I recommend for the tracking dog stuff. And we're going to get into some tracking dog stuff. I've had several people send me messages and say, can you talk about some of the tracking dog stuff? I will, because it's going to fit into our Spry training here shortly. We're going to do some tracking stuff with Spry. We're also going to start the hunt command, and I've talked about this now for a couple days. I got to get it done, especially before it gets too cold. It's going to get cold again next week, so I want to get some stuff done outside. And I'm a post-it note guy. I got lots of them constantly. So on my notes for tomorrow, hunt command. So we're going to talk about a hunt command with the pup. I'm going to show you how we're going to do some of that. That's outside stuff. We're going to continue to do what we're doing today, because I'm not making a move until I can get the pup to do what she did with the Great Wall once the walls have been broken down. Okay, so that's going to be my objective. That's my short-term goal. I'm a goals guy. I like having a list of stuff that we're going to go after. It's big picture stuff. It's little picture stuff. It's the little picture stuff that has to get done in order to get to the big picture stuff. So that, I think, applies in more than just dog training. I'm learning that every day. So have both DVDs, and they are great. GSO times Deuce. That's awesome. First off, that's an awesome name. Second off, I appreciate you having both those DVDs. So, guys, the DVDs, I think, are a really nice additional tool. So what I was saying before I started talking about my post-it notes was, one of the things that I think we need to do is take things like this, these live opportunities, and we mix that in with support from the DVD stuff, and then we mix that in with support from the kits, because the kits have tools and parts and pieces that we're going to use. I think it's a combination of all this stuff. I don't think there's one magic DVD that you watch. I don't think there's one magic book that you watch. The message that I had gotten earlier this week was a guy asked me if I could write him a calendar and tell him what he should do each day for the month. And I said, no, absolutely not. You can't do that. So here's why. It's fluid. I don't know what your puppy's going to do third day into something. I don't know what my puppy's going to do third day into it. So if you watch over go back and watch these last couple weeks of this. This little puppy has taken lots of steps forward to where she is now, but we've also taken several steps back. So that's that roller coaster. That's that thing where we got to ride it up and we got to ride it down, and we're always going to search for the balance. So Ryan Boritz joined in. Welcome, Ryan. Ryan's a dog whisperer. He's from way back when. But so guys, we are going to wrap it up here tonight. Awesome group tonight. Like, we had really strong numbers early on. Excellent work. So the 30 that are on right now are probably the same 30 that ride through these things always with us. I think we pushed up into the 80s maybe tonight with people, so that was really strong. That was good. Keep sharing them. I think the way we grow this is we share them. I think the way we make this better is more people, more questions, more asking stuff, more interaction. And I'm going to throw this at you guys because before I get off, and I should have probably done this earlier, but you guys are my core 30 anyway, so I'll get the input from you. I had a call tonight, or I had a call today from a guy, and he might be on right now, so I don't think he'd mind, but I thought it was an excellent call. And he called with a question, and it was, he questioned, he's got a little girl that he's working with this pup of his, and he's running into some issues with this puppy and working with his daughter, and his main objective is to have this be something that they're sharing together, okay? So his concern was, he wasn't sure on he was just very indecisive. He just didn't have, and I could hear it in his voice. And so finally I said to him, I just said, hey, here's my thing that I'm going to ask of you. I want you to make decisions and make them with confidence. Because right now your dog reads you better than you read yourself, and that dog understands that you're asking him to do something, you're not telling him to do something. And he said, what do you mean? I said, in your voice right now. He says, yeah. And I said, yeah. I laughed at him. And I didn't laugh at him to make fun of him, but I laughed at him. I said, that means I'm not listening to you when you say, yeah. That means not, you have to say, yeah. And he goes, yeah. And I said, there, that's it, right there. You changed. And he goes, oh, yeah. Well, I said, if you make decisions, even if you're wrong, make them with confidence. Because at least you'll be trying to fool a little puppy for a little bit. But you have to be more decisive. You have to be more confident with what you're saying. And it was so, it's hard for me to explain it right now, but it was so different from his tone of voice from that point on in our conversation. The other thing he said was, I'm really struggling with place training. He said, my dog's doing pretty good with place training, but he goes, I just can't figure it out. It seems like your pup's doing really well with this, and mine is good sometimes, but it's just not always. And I said, well, how old's your dog? I think he said 12 weeks. And so I said, 12 weeks. First off, 12 weeks is young, so you got to be patient. All these other issues that you're having, you got to be patient with. But I said, 12 weeks, no reason why you can't have a strong dog on place at 12 weeks old. And he said, yeah, I know, but it's just sometimes she is pretty good, but she'll get off. And I said, okay, here's what you got to do. You have to reverse this. You have to back up. It's you and her, no different than me at the end of these things when I answer questions, and I've got a puppy sitting in the middle of the kitchen with no distractions, and I go through a very solid... If this puppy gets off, guys, you think I'm going to see it? She's right in front of me. I have no TV on. I have nothing is drawing me away from her. I said, you need to do the same thing, and you need to start seeing when your dog makes that move to come off. If you're catching it and it's already off, you missed it. It's too late. I said, you have to dedicate yourself to focusing on catching that pup. And he said, well, do you think it makes a big difference if it's an elevated bed? And I said, wait, what are you using? Well, I'm using one of those pillows. Back up to the very beginning when we started place training, and I said, don't use the pillows, guys. Don't use them with puppies. And the reason you don't use them with puppies is because there's too much gray area. I said, so I said to him, I said, well, the problem with the pillows is that puppy doesn't have a clear barrier. There's not a clear perimeter, and it makes it very difficult on you to time it to correct her, right? And he goes, yeah, sometimes she's half on, and she's got a paw on, but she's sleeping so quiet I don't want to wake her up, and so I'm not sure when to correct him. I said, hello, there's your fix. Get a bed that's going to help you train the dog to place, and I guarantee you it's going to be a 180 in the opposite direction. So that is an example of, it's really hard to build a house driving nails with a crescent wrench. It just doesn't work very well. Can you do it? Yeah, you can do it, but it's not very efficient, right? Like today, use a hammer, use the right tools. Today, you'll use a nail gun. So what you need to do is if you're going to do a job, have the right stuff to do it, and it'll make your life a whole lot easier. That's where some of these tools are going to come in. But so with him, what I asked him was this. So I'm the longest storyteller in the world. But so what I wanted to ask him was, I said, hey, I've got an idea. It's not my idea. I've seen another guy do this. And so my question to him was, if nobody would have understood that if we hadn't been like me talking to him is what you needed to hear. So I said, what do you think about, because when you guys type questions and I answer them, that's good because it's interactive and we get some good exchange. What I really think would be good is if I had it set up where someone called me with their question, like this guy. He called me, he explains his situation, and I get to talk back and forth with him. But what I would do is I would do it while we're filming live. Now you guys can see that and hear it and hear the answers and hear the interaction that we have, because that gets so much, that takes it to a whole nother level. So I'm thinking about how to do it, but B, I want to see if you guys think that it would be effective. I have had several calls because of these lives that people ask, they don't want to type their question, they want to ask it to me. So they ask me it, and we get into some really good stuff. And so I just think that there would be some value in that, but I want to get your guys' feedback, because it's something too that I probably wouldn't answer as many questions in a night, but the ones that we did, we'd really get into them. So think on that a little bit. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. Give me your feedback on it. Brooke, have a great night. Megan joined in. Any decision is a good decision. That's right. Make it confidently is what I'm saying. So good stuff. Jeff, you guys have a great night. Think on it. We'll see you guys in the morning. We'll be back. And have a trail, said Daniel. I'm not sure what that means. Have a trail. So I think maybe he's saying tracking stuff. But we will we'll get back with you guys in the morning. You guys have a great night, all right? Take it easy.